Hey Canucks fans, welcome to the Line Change postgame show. The Vancouver Canucks have defeated the Nashville Predators by a score of 5-4 in overtime, managing to salvage this road trip and finishing it 2-1, especially after a disastrous game against Minnesota on Saturday. Before we break down and recap this game, I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of that amazing artwork you see there behind me. And you guys can check him out yourselves at GassyJackArt.com. He's got plenty of great prints. Go ahead, check him out. He still has his buy two get two free, I believe, on sale, so go ahead and check him out for sure. Now I'm gonna quickly do our goal visualizer breakdown, as I will admit I missed the first two periods of this game as I got home late from work, but I managed to catch I think the last 15 minutes of the third period as well as overtime. So definitely a nail biter, but let's go ahead and check out the goal visualizer. And we start off by the Nashville Predators making it 1-0 in the first period at 6:47. Philip Forsberg with a wrist shot. He's known for his shot. Scores assisted by Brady Shea and Luke Evangelista. Go ahead and take a look at the visualizer. So here's the puck. Move down, Pretty Shea brings it around, and then Philip Forsberg is able to put it past Demko. Couldn't really see it, all that well on the visualizer. But then you had Evander Kane scoring his first as a Vancouver Canuck, and don't worry, this one is not getting called back at 14:45 of the first period on the power play, assisted by Philip Hronek and Arshdeep Bains. Now let's take a look at the visualizer on this one. Sasson moves the puck around to Kane, who passes it over to Bains, and then back to Hronek to Kane, and he one-times it past UC Saros. So Kane's got his first as a Vancouver Canuck, and then that is all the goals we had in the first period. So after one, it was 1-1. Moving to the second period, it was Jake DeBrusk scoring also on the power play, his third of the season at 12:57 to make it 2-1 Vancouver, assisted by Besser and Elias Pettersson. So let's take a look at the goal visualizer. This one was a tip-in. So Hughes passes it to Besser, who moves it over to Elias Pettersson, who moves it past over to Besser, and DeBrusk is able to tip it in after a shot from Besser. Moving forward, we had Brock Besser scoring his fifth of the season at 15:05 to make it 3-1 Vancouver, assisted by Tom Wielander and Elias Pettersson. So Tom Wielander gets his first NHL point with an assist, a primary assist on Brock Besser's goal. Let's take a look at the visualizer. You have Tom Wielander with the puck, bringing it up ice, bringing it up past the faceoff dot, throws it out in front. Besser is able to find it, and he's able to put it home. Then we have Eric Holla scoring on the power play to make it 3-2 at 18:45, assisted by Philip Forsberg and Luke Evangelista. Let's take a look at the visualizer for that. Puck at the blue line, passed forward. Sorry, I don't know the Nashville players' numbers, except for Forsberg there, and then out in front, and Demko is not able to stop it, and it goes into the net. And that was the goals for the second period. Moving to the third period, Evander Kane scoring his second as a Vancouver Canuck to make it 4-2 Vancouver at 3:02 of the third period, assisted by Linus Karlsson and Marcus Pettersson. Let's take a look at this one. See, puck back to Hronek to Hughes, who dangles around, moves it over to Pettersson, who shoots it, and then it looks like there was an odd bounce off, or Saros made the save, and Kane is able to pounce on the rebound. So great work there from Kane. Moving forward, we have Michael Bunting, and this was an odd goal. I actually saw this goal live, and it was Michael Bunting assisted by Stasny and Svechkov to make it 4-3 at 11:52. This was a deflection, and actually I saw the replay on this, and it looked like Bunting turned his skate, and it just bounced off his skate. He didn't necessarily kick it, but he turned his skate. So he knew the puck was coming, and it just bounced off. So Not necessarily a kicking motion, but I thought that was a little shitty. I'm not going to lie. And then Blankenberg would tie the game at 4 at 16:37, assisted by Wood and Bunting. On the power play, let's take a look at the visualizer here. Back to the point. Back there. Up front, Bunting passes it back. It's going to go back to the point here, Blankenberg. And I thought for a second there it bounced off Bunting again. But no, they gave the goal to Blankenberg, and we got a tie game. And of course, we go to overtime with at 4:58, Brock Besser scores again, his second of the night, assisted by Elias Pettersson. A great feed from Pettersson to Besser. Let's check it out here, right off the faceoff. So PD wins the faceoff. Besser digs in for the puck. PD's able to get it and does a little chip pass over to Besser, who walks right in and beats Saros to end the game. Brock Besser and the Nashville Predators, man, or at Bridgestone Arena, the guy can get it done. Let's take a look at the stats. Final shots were 36-29 in favor of the Canucks. So the Canucks outshoot the Predators, which is not something us Canucks fans really say a whole lot. Face-off percentage, Canucks were 44.8%, while the Predators were 55.2%. So the Canucks were 30 for 67. The Predators were 37 for 67, so they were slightly better. And then you had the power play. Canucks were 2 for 3. Predators were 2 for 4. Canucks had a better power play percentage at 66.7%, while the Predators were a 50%. Penalty minutes, 8 for the Canucks, 6 for the Predators. The Canucks out-hit the Predators 22-19. Block shots were 22-7 in favor of the Canucks. Canucks with more giveaways at 21 compared to Nashville's 18. Then takeaways were dead even. The series is now tied between the Canucks and the Predators. Obviously, the Predators faced the Canucks on October 23rd. They beat them 2-1. Canucks have evened it up, and now they have their final game of the season series on March 12th. So not until 2026 will we see the Nashville Predators. And that is our goal visualizer. I'm going to bring on my friend Gerald, and we're going to break down this game. Whoops, wrong one. There we go.
What's going on, Ty?
What's happening, buddy?
Nothing much. Just watching a really weird game, and was on Uncensored with the boys. Canucks Uncensored for during the intermissions and also post game. So that was a good night, I guess, in terms of Canucks content. Yeah, what did you think of the game that you saw? Well, as much as you saw, I think you only saw the third period.
Yeah, third period. Like, I missed probably 5 minutes of the third period by the time I got home, and then I obviously was able to watch all of overtime.
Okay, that's good. And what did you think of the game?
I thought it was promising, with especially getting the score updates on my way home. Seeing that it was 3-1, I was like, okay, and then Kane getting 2 goals. I was like, okay,
And it didn't get called off.
And it didn't get called off. I was like, 1, I was surprised about that. And 2, I was like, okay, so Kane's actually doing something, because I've kind of been off the Kane train lately. I think they should trade him just because he keeps taking bad penalties. I watched a little bit of the Minnesota game while I was streaming the baseball game, but I had it on mute, so I couldn't hear what was going on. But I saw there was some sort of brouhaha in that game involving Kane, where he got misconduct.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just like, okay, what is this guy doing? Like, come on. But looked like he played a pretty good game tonight, able to get two goals. But then I heard, because I was watching a little bit of Russell's stream at the same time, and I heard he took a pretty bad penalty or something. And I was like, oh, here we go again. You score 2 goals, and then you go and take a dumb penalty again. But yeah, I thought it was good up until the point where Nashville tied it. Then I was like, okay, here we go. Canucks hockey. But I did have an issue with Bunting's goal, like his goal. Because, like I mentioned,
The foot?
Yeah, him turning his foot, like, it's not necessarily a kicking motion, but it's like he knew the puck was coming, and he just directed it with his foot. So I guess there's a bit of leeway with that, but I didn't like seeing that on the replay, going like, wait a minute, like, but
Yeah, because
yeah,
I mean, in the actual rule book, I think it it states kicking motion as opposed to directing it. So he didn't
mm,
kick it; it was just sort
a
of
direction, yeah.
bounced off, right? So
Hmm.
that's the main reason why. I think it should be that rule should be changed
Hmm.
because it's deliberately like kicked in. Well, like not
Yeah,
kicked in, but tipped off the foot. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And it makes you wonder when they were looking at it, were they maybe looking at that? Because you didn't see the replay until after they decided not to challenge it,
yeah,
where they showed like the good replay of him like turning his skate because it hit the inside of his skate and then bounced into the net.
yeah. So I mean, it is what it is.
Hmm.
To be very honest, like during the intermission, I think it was second intermission, they were up. What is it? 4-2. Second intermission,
I
I
believe
believe.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was telling Steve, Japan 4, that I wouldn't be surprised if the Canucks, like I mean, I said the Canucks would be lucky if they got out of the game in a tie because I mean, watching the Minnesota game, you already know like it's not a surprise. It would be a surprise if they held the goal lead and
Mhm.
won the game. But yeah, so it happened. I mean, just exactly like the Leafs game, they were down 2-0 after the second. And it was at I think 1-13. I threw in a bet on that. It wasn't it was like a dollar, whatever. I actually kind of linked it with Edmonton and Vancouver too, just for shits and giggles to see what it'd be like. And so after I looked at it, I was like, holy crap, like 3-3. And then I look another few minutes later, it's 4-3. And then I told Steve, I was like, yo, the Canucks could be tied, hopefully win at the end of the game, but it'd be a tie game, and which is what I ended up happening.
Mhm.
But I think these games in general, in comparison to last year, if you look at it from last year's perspective, these are the games that they needed to win last year, which they
Mhm.
didn't. They lost a lot of overtime shootouts. They lost a lot in overtime. And those few points here and there would have been the difference between them making it or not. And last year,
Yeah.
they're only off by 2 games. I think it was like 4 points, 4 or 6 points. Can't remember exactly. But so hopefully, with the return of Garland, not sure if it's going to be against Chicago or it's going to be. I think the game after is Colorado. I think it's Sorry, it's Chicago, Colorado, and then Winnipeg. So hopefully one of those 3 games, Garland will be back. I hope that Garland brings some sort of stability. Gives PD a line driver, and at least there's some sort of stability there. But with that added in, the question would be, where would Besser be? Is Sherwood going to be thrown back to the third line? And then when Bluger comes back shortly after that, does Sasson stay or does Ratu stay? So those are sort of the questions right now that um, need to be kind of looked at. But aside from that, I mean, this game tonight, there was the effort. You can see the effort more in the second period. And another stat that they gave during the intermission is of all the teams, Canucks actually lead second period goals at about 40%. So the probability of them scoring goals in the second
Oh,
period, like the percentage of their goals are in the second. So at least the Canucks aren't last in everything, right? And there's
yeah.
some sort of hope. Um, but yeah, like another standout was probably Petey. I don't know. Let me think. I think you might have missed it because I think it was the end of the second period. there was a 2-on-1 with Petey and Sherwood, and Petey had the puck
Oh yeah,
coming
I
down
think
the
I
left
I think
wing.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and then
And PD
he like
had a
tripped.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah, tripped, fell on the ice. Puck was given away. He went and skated back on the bench. And then the puck went the other way and it ended up being a goal. Like it's things like that that you're having a good game and then you just mess up like that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
the ice could have been bad. Who knows? Like no one knows
Yeah.
because I think last time the last game the ice was pretty bad too
Hmm.
from what I heard. And that could be an issue, but man, you can't let stuff like this happen if you're, that superstar making 11.6, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, those that's what's disappointing about the game. Even though it's a win, even though he dug the puck out, got it to Besser shoots it in for the win. Um, you know, mistakes here and there could have cost them the game. Like Kaner's penalty could have cost them the game. I don't care if you scored a hat trick. You make a stupid play like that, like come on. And Kiefer Sherwood also had a bad penalty with the stick. I think uh, in the third, and that pretty much. I can't remember if the Preds scored on that, but yeah, it's those little things that can cost you a game, right?
Hmm. Yeah. I just looked at the schedule. It's Chicago, Columbus, then Colorado.
Okay, and
Yeah. Because
then
and then
Winnipeg after that on
then
Remembrance
Winnipeg.
Day.
Yeah. 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 Because Sam and I are going to the Columbus game. So I do want to highlight this comment from Irvin: undefeated beyond regulation, baby, which is the
Yeah.
complete opposite of last year. So yeah, obviously you like to see that they haven't lost in OT. Knock on wood. But yeah, I was when I was watching Russell's stream on my way home, just because it was easier than watching it on Sportsnet, and I don't trust Sportsnet after what happened on Saturday. So um, I noticed there was some bad calls. Like the referees, they were piling on the referees. Because I think I saw PD get tripped in the
Yeah.
third. But it looked also at the same time, PD, you gotta like keep your balance, dude. Like, he went down way too easy. But I did think that was a trip. I think I saw something about Besser getting clipped in the face or something with a high stick, not getting called. Um, I did see a little bit of Adam Foote's post game. Him talking about a Kane penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty. I don't know if it's the same one we were talking about that he took, um, but I saw that as well.
I mean, this season the refereeing has been inconsistent, I would say,
Hmm.
like here and there. I think we've talked about it on this stream at
Yeah.
post games also, and it's it has to be more consistent, but you expect these calls like something being missed, something they'll call it back, or another penalty makes it up, kind of thing. Like it just,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Um, I mean, we're in 2025. Hopefully, within the next 10 years, they'll have, they have all the technology and the pucks that track speed and all that, right? So if they can get rid of the referees, um, it makes the game not as human, but at least it can be more consistent and fair, right?
Hmm.
And I think you probably agree if they did away with umpires in the game, or those line people in baseball games to make the actual correct calls. Yeah, then the difference would be there, and games would be
Hmm.
actually correct, right?
Yeah.
So
I do love this comment from Irvin. That's how we can follow our team without lining the pockets of Rogers and Aquilini. Well, mine has nothing to do with Aquilini. um, but yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I just think I was watching a little bit of Sick Harrison Price earlier today while I was at work because super slow, and I was like, I want to see what they have to say about Game 7, and they were talking a lot about the game against St. Louis where Kane got his goal called back. Even they
yeah,
were like they were going nuts about that goalie interference call, and they were
it was
like
stupid. It
that
was.
wasn't yeah.
I mean, I think Bennington was even. He was probably thinking, yeah, I shouldn't have let that one in. Like it
Yeah.
was on him. It wasn't like I don't even think the coaches were gonna call it. And then the referees were kind of like taking their time and shit, and the coaches like, okay, let's just review it. Like that's what it seemed like.
Hmm.
Because if the referees are 50-50 on something, you might as well just call it just to try it out, right? And then it gets
Yeah.
overturned when it should have been a goal. But
Mhm. Well, that was one thing
it's
they were talking about is how long it took
yeah,
to make that decision, and then they even compared it to MLB like reviews. Like they didn't necessarily talk about Game 7 per se, but they just said MLB reviews are like that.
yeah.
They make a call and boom, it's done. Which brings me to just a little bit of Game 7. I noticed one call was super fast, and it's like, okay, you guys should have like taken time on that. And yes, it was that play at home that they should have they made that
You mean the
decision
plate?
way, yeah, they made that way too fast. They should have really like looked at it and dissected it and then
Do you think the
made
foot was
a
off?
decision. I thought the foot was off a little bit, but there's also when he slid, it almost like when he slid, his bottom foot touched the plate. Like they almost did it at the exact same time. And usually when that happens in baseball, the tie goes to the runner. But that's just I'm just using what Segarra and Price were saying, like just using that as an example. A lot of people felt that call was made too fast, which is the opposite of what they do in the NHL, which is they take their time for something that should be like bang done.
Yeah.
But that's basically what Segarra and Price were trying to compare to.
But
And
I mean, staying on baseball, let me like
yeah,
be the devil's advocate here. Like, if do you think he was too slow? Like, I mean, he should have been way past third base. Like, he should have because you have that option to have a head start. Like, you see the pitch going, and you know your batters what they're gonna do. It's like an easy run right there. Shouldn't you be a few steps closer, like not 90 feet? You're actually maybe like 80 some odd feet in, and you should have been running your ass off, not running your ass off when you see the ball is coming and it's almost being caught, then you slide. So man, like it's on the runner too, bro.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people have been talking about he should have had sorry to get into a little bit of baseball talk, but uh, a lot of people were saying he should have had a secondary lead, and that could have been the difference. But I do
Yeah.
love what Urban says: support your local creators. Absolutely, nothing is perfect. Canucks Uncensored, Canuck Clay, Doodle, Kempner, absolutely. And I do like this going back to the goalie interference thing when the goalie doesn't even argue. Because yeah, Bennington didn't even argue at all.
No, he knew it was on
Yeah,
him because the tap was right before he reset after the tap, and it was the lightest tap that you could eat. Like, come on, man! Like, if you're gonna tell me blue paint, okay, fine, but you're telling me it was interference because you lightly skated by and tapped him in the pad or some shit. Like, come
yeah.
on.
I think it was on the chest, if I'm not mistaken. Some people were saying it was the mask, but I think it was more so the chest than anything. But yeah, that was nuts. But yeah, I thought tonight was good. It was a good thing in the right direction for the Canucks. Obviously, Hughes being back, I think, was a boost for this team. Um,
Yeah,
Obviously, I didn't see the first period, so I couldn't really see if they were like rejuvenated with Hughes being back in the lineup. But I did make a comment because we all talk about like how good the defense is, and with the whole talk about like JT Miller, you know, did we win that trade? Did we not win that trade? If we don't trade Miller, we don't have Marcus Pettersson, we don't have Mancini. But I even like kind of noticed like the defense hasn't exactly been all that great. Granted, we've been without Quinn,
yeah.
but even the first few games of the season with Quinn, the defense looked a little shaky, and we all thought they were going to be like the rock for the team. But the defense hasn't really been what it's supposed to be. At
I
least
mean,
that's what I've noticed.
if you are able to go back and watch the Minnesota game, I think Willander actually played pretty solid. The numbers also, are saying that he played well. Like he faced Kaprizov a lot during that game, and there's a lot of smart plays. I mean, he is still a rookie. There are hiccups here and there, but in general, I think he played quite well. And tonight, he looked okay. There was one play where I think I can't even remember which period by period because there's just so much going on, but um, someone was messing around. I just thought someone should have gone in there to help him out. But the kid's holding his ground. Like it's promising. And to have Huggy back, playing some minutes with him, seeing,
Mhm.
the prospect of this rookie, maybe makes them think, maybe I should stay. And at this point in the season, yeah, we're at 500, 7-7, game 14. Are we a playoff team? Is it a make or break? If we don't make the playoffs, does Huggy immediately leave? Like I don't see him saying that, but with all these injuries piled up and with the games that are being played so tight together,
Mhm.
um, can like even if we don't do well, would would Huggy consider staying because of what we have or what we potentially could get for the last year? Because he's definitely not going to make a decision by July 1st. I can tell you that.
No, no, I don't see that happening.
And there's only two options, like depending on management and on how they see things, they could either be like, okay, he still has 1 year on his contract, trade deadline, maybe we'll ship him out if we know for sure he's not signing with us. Or do they wait it out, go past July 1st, start the season, no extension, and it's a coin flip. So you make it or you don't, and then at the trade deadline, you have to make some desperate like Hail Mary to like either re-sign him or to ship him off. Like what do you do, right? Like what would
Mhm.
you do if you were in that scenario, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I think they're gonna, come like if they don't re-sign him July 1st. Not that I'm expecting them to, like this upcoming July 1st. If they go past that, and they're probably gonna want an answer probably before the deadline from him, which isn't really fair to him per se because you don't want to like push him. But at the same time, if the team gets desperate, and as what Urban just said, knowing this ownership group, they're gonna push him, be like, "We need an answer,"
Yeah.
or they might, heaven forbid, they might make the same decision they made with PD, where they were like, "Okay, well, if you don't sign with us, we're gonna trade you," kind of thing. Like they kind of like put pressure on PD with the whole thing with Carolina.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that. That's like, I didn't say this on the other stream, which I think I should have. But to be very honest, I think PD is what's gonna be the biggest blemish in like the 2020s Canucks. It's because of PD. We're not gonna win the cup. Even though I'm wearing his jersey right now and all that, like I thought he was great in his rookie season, thought he was great in the 2023-24 season. Um, it's it falls on him. If he came to training camp ready, or if he, you know, was upfront and honest and said, I'm not feeling well, not 100%. I couldn't train, took time off, didn't start the season and started training and then play catch up as opposed to started the season. Um, we might still have JT. And if he didn't sign the contract, he was traded. Um, think about the core that we could have gotten. It'd be like Nacious, uh, Kotkaniemi, and some like a pick and prospects. Like, bro, like we would be set. Like with what PD did last year for what is it, 45 points for 14 million or 14.5 million? Come on, man. Like that cap could have been used for something else, right? Is this the line change with Gerald? Where's Tyler, man? Where'd you go, bro? Okay, we're still live. So, not really even sure what else to talk about without Tyler kind of see here. Let's see some of the comments here. Knowing the ownership group by Servin, Sai. Russell, what's up, man? Besser haunts the Predators. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Let's see here. What else is it? You're back. Okay.
yeah. Sorry, my internet just cut out, and it's the same thing that happened on Saturday. So I just quickly grabbed my laptop.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so that was sort of the rant on PD. I was just saying that, if PD was traded or if PD wasn't extended, or if PD came into the season not ready and being honest and saying, I'm not ready, let's, train at that point, maybe play the latter half of the season, maybe he still would have had 45 points with half a season, which is better than playing the whole season with only 45 points.
mhm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Gerald or Urban's gotta asking you, what do you think of this team if they do the PD trade with Carolina, but Lindholm, Zadorov still walk in the summer?
Um, it really depends on the actual assets coming back. Because if it was Nacious and Kotkaniemi, and I believe it was like a conditional first.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to look at the draft class this year because it would have been this year. It was just this past draft or the next upcoming draft. Um, and that would make a difference if it was like next year's draft. That'd be huge. Nacious, I don't think. I think it'd be the same. Like I don't think he has that ability to drive his own line. I haven't seen much of his game. I've only seen some of it, but it feels like if he was thrown in the same situation as PD is right now, playing all these minutes defensively, everyone's injured. I think PD's doing okay for what he's thrown into. Um, but to end the year, I think at least there's some sort of chemistry that could be built with some of the other players, and it'd be it could be delegated a little better. As for Lindholm and Zadorov, Nacious wouldn't have to do his extension until this year. At that point, Lindholm and or Zadorov could have stayed. But would you be willing to pay $5 million for a second or third pairing D man? And Lindholm, I can't remember if it's 8 or 8.5 for a second line. I mean, looking back right now with the cap space and all that, that would have been great. Yeah, I just think the whole structure of the whole team right now is just we're missing a lot. We're not even close to being a playoff team. Like if you sneak in, great. Um, but to be realistic, we need a first line center if PD can't. He's at most a second line center. We need someone that doesn't have to be necessarily a first line center, but to help PD get back to who he was. I think Witt from Uncensored was saying PD and Garland a couple years ago couldn't play with each other because both of them or drive their own lines. And now you need Garland to help him, which we all don't mind, but we need PD back to who he was to drive a line. Then we can think about second line center because right now he's definitely not playing like a first line center. And, his most productive was when it was the Lotto line. He was playing the left. There's JT and Besser. That's the most effective, right? Um, and for how I see it is, I was I was bringing this up a lot during the other stream, is that I think they should go get like a younger version of a Stamkos if they're able to, or even Zaka, someone that has good face-off abilities, that is over 50%, that can play with PD, that can drive a line and dish them the puck. Then that's a different story. We don't need that first line center. And then because even at that time, like if we get a second line center and we have PD centering the first line, we need someone like, I don't know, someone that can drive the line. Like Besser can't do it. DeBrus can't do it. So you put Garland there, and then who else do you put on the side? You put Kane because he scored today, and then the second line would consist of right now it'd be Reichel, Besser, and DeBrus, which also doesn't work. So maybe DeBrus goes on the first line, Kane goes on the second line with Besser, because you just can't have Besser and DeBrus playing on the same line. They just, they're the same player on opposite ends, and they don't drive anything, right? So that's why it's just so frustrating right now on how to do the line combinations on how this team can go forward if you don't have the right pieces together. Third line, we're Pat. We got when Bluger comes back, you got Bluger, you got Sherwood there, Doc, Drew O'Connor, which I'm not a huge fan of, but he aside from tonight's game, he had two multi-point games back to back. So some of that confidence, I guess, is coming back. Fourth line, you have the Abbey line. Great, you're set. So what are assets that can go out right now that you can bring something in return that can fulfill the top six? That is the biggest question.
Erwin's asking, can I say something? Go for it.
Please.
Please
Does he want
excuse
to come on?
the difficulties. I'm not used to using my laptop.
Yeah.
So, and it's a Chromebook, so I'm not used to like scrolling and stuff like that because I don't use a mouse. So
yeah, I'm using my phone because I can't use the Chromebook. Like the camera quality is even worse than my phone.
Oh
so.
yeah, I can tell the camera quality is crap on this thing, but it works. So, and I gotta reboot my computer, my desktop. So, but yeah, Irv, did you want to say it in the chat or did you want to come on? I can send you a link if you would like.
So yeah, he's saying that. Oh my God, Russell. PD wins the Conn Smythe. Okay. So what Irvin is saying, that leaves us with a core of Miller, Hughes, Besser, Garland, Demko, which I'm happy with. Like I've said many times before, the Canucks are asset poor. Yep. Lindholm makes 7.75 AAV. I think, in this economy with this salary cap right now, that I'd be happy with that. I mean, you don't have Kane, you have Lindholm, even better. Mushy middle pick. Just incredible. High legends. The fundamental structure of this team is very flawed still, even if everyone is healthy. True. Because just looking at what I was saying earlier with like moving Garland to the first line because PD can't drive his own line demotes Besser down. Then you would have DeBrusque on the first line with PD and Garland. Then you would have Kane, Reichel, and Besser. And then the third line, like we said, hopefully it would be Bluger, Sherwood, and Doc. And then the Calder Abbey line. But that leaves Ratu. And who else? Yeah, Ratu, that would be out. Sturdman Irvin, it's 2025 and we're still paying for Benning's mistake and continuing because we have the OEL situation, which goes until 2031, I believe. It's at like 4.77 right now, and then it drops off the last 2 years. For it's frustrating because we are catered to EP40 where he should be driving the line and making his line mates better. Yep, 100% agreed. We need him to get back to that. Even Witten was saying, during the Boudreaux days, like PD was going on scoring tear. Like right now, if you brought back Bruce Boudreaux, could you still get that same PD back? I don't think so. 10 points in 14 games for PD. So far, he started to justify his price tag. His contributions at the next homestand will absolutely be critical. Oh my God. Hey, Connor. How's it going, man? Yeah, that is very true.
Hey, Connor. How's it going? Thanks for being here, bud. I did send Irvin a link. So once he gets it, I'll bring him on.
Dude, I would. Have you talked to Connor before?
No, I did see him on the open house, and I absolutely loved his takes.
I think we should bring
Great
Connor
takes,
on if
Connor.
he
Yeah.
wants. But the problem is, how do we get in touch? Because he doesn't use socials.
Mm,
Yeah.
crud. I mean, I could post a link in the chat.
Let's just see if he
I mean,
wants to. If he wants
yeah, we'll
to.
ask if he wants to, because he has a good comment about Jake. It's been disappointing. Has just 5-14. He needs to get going fast. Hopefully, like you said, I think on Uncensored, the month of November, he starts to, get hot.
Yeah,
Because didn't he get hot like last November too?
he got
At one
streaky. He
point.
started. He started. He started his streak. November 2nd last year. And then he kind of went on a tear. So
Hmm.
yeah, October is Rockstar, and November is Jake the Clutch. So hopefully that
Hmm.
repeats, and we'll at least get some points within the next couple of weeks. And hopefully when Garland, Bluger, and everyone else comes on, we're good to go. What's up, Servin?
All right, here's
Hey guys,
here's Irv.
I only have a second, but yeah, I mean, it kind of it kind of sucks to be talking about this because we did win tonight.
Hmm.
But I did, as I mentioned before in Canucks Uncensored, two things can be true. We do need more from PD, but at the same time, this team is poorly constructed. And what I mean when I say that we're still paying for the mistakes of Benning, if you go back to 2018, Linden wanted to rebuild proper. And then they got rid of him. They stuck with Benning.
Was it
Immediately,
2018? I thought it was earlier than that.
it was like 2018. Immediately, the
Hmm.
next year, they trade for JT at the draft, which I didn't think it was a great pick trade, but only because of the timing. Like I didn't think like he's more of a finishing piece, and they were bringing him in to be like the guy, and I didn't think we were there yet. Anyways, we were left with PD, Bo, and JT.
Irvin,
Now
do you remember? Do you remember what that first rounder became?
they traded it to Tampa. Tampa gave it to New Jersey for Shakur Makamadulin.
Okay,
Or
so
yeah, New Jersey
no,
ended up using the pick, and then
but that
now that guy is plays for San Jose.
okay, and he's not like he
He's
didn't really
meh.
pan out yet. Okay, that's fine.
Well, anyways, so we were left with JT, Bo, and PD, and to me, those guys were it. But the
That's the
fatal flaw
core
that
already.
to me, the
Perfect.
fatal flaw of the team is that other than Quinn Hughes, Jim Benning never brought in any proper defense.
Yeah.
And so after the exit of Benning, what did we do? We sold our center depth to get the defense. But now we're sitting here saying we need center depth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know where this team's gonna
Poor
go.
asset management.
Oh yeah, definitely. I do like this from Justin. Aqua didn't want to listen to Lennon because Benning went behind Lennon's back and pitched Frankie on playoffs.
Hmm.
Who's Frankie? Do I know who that is? Cervelli?
Francesco.
Ac-
Oh, Aquilini.
Aquilini.
Anyways, I
Or
just want to
sorry,
jump on and vent that.
Aquafina, as Alfred and I call him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not know that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. I think they should have listened to Lyndon. He knows what
Okay.
he's doing.
Anyways,
And
I'll see you guys
thanks
later.
for
Maybe
coming
in
on, Nerve.
CCC. Thanks a lot.
Irvin, you don't want to stay for a bit more?
Maybe I'll catch you guys later in CCC.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for
All right.
coming on,
Thanks.
man.
Thanks for coming on, bud. Here, let me go up a bit. Where is it? Oh, here's Japan 4. By the way, I loved Steve on Uncensored tonight. I thought he was great.
He is very
Minus
uncensored.
the Dodgers thing. I didn't really like that. But to each his own, But yeah, it's frustrating because we were catering to EP40 where he should be driving the line and making his line mates better. I do kind of agree with that. He's never really been good at driving his own lines, which is something he should be better at.
No, but he was a couple years ago.
With
That's why
Kuzi, I think.
Garland couldn't play with him because they were both drivers. Kuzi worked. Kuzi, would you consider Kuzi a driver?
I don't think Kuzi was really a driver. He was more like your net front guy,
Yeah.
or at least a shooter, but more so
It's
a
just
net front / shooter.
it's just TD, I think, has lost a lot of confidence. That's why he's how he is now. And he's in that comfort zone now the way this is how he plays. And that's why. Like you see flashes here and there where he tries to like jump ahead on the rushes, but like it's these little sparks here and there, and it's not consistent.
I do like this from Connor. Miss the Garland, Joshua Bluger line. They work so well together. Yeah, that line was fantastic. And it sucks that we lost Joshua. Although I didn't really like the price we had him at, so I kind of understand it from that standpoint. But I do
Bro, come
think
on.
going
3.25 compared to 5.1 in Kane.
true.
And it took
Well,
him
yeah,
14 games to score 2 goals.
I would prefer Joshua over Kane, like 100%.
There we go. There we go.
But I do like the idea of having Garland with PD. Especially with PD not driving his own line right now, you can have Garland in that spot. Obviously, he's been out, but for the few games that I did see with Garland and PD on the same line, they looked good together. So hopefully,
Yeah,
once
because Garland does the dirty work, and PD's just like hovering around doing his PD things, right?
yeah, but hey, maybe Garland can light the spark for PD. Hopefully, once he gets back. But I do like the idea of just Garland and PD being together. I'm not really bothered by who's on the other wing. Like if it's Kane or if it's Besser. I mean, I would prefer if it was Besser.
So but Besser's right wing. Like the only right wings we have right now are Besser, Garland, and Sherwood. Okay, sir. Sorry. You can also give it'd be Carlson. But like actual right hand shots, we have the 4. But because Garland was out, PD was out, we only had Sherwood and Carlson. And how do you depend on that? Like Karamaki's out. Like we need more right. Like to be very honest, I think I've been preaching this. Like we need right shot center icing that work. And like those are hard to come by. Like you got I believe Zaka is right wing or right-handed center, which we tried to get before he actually went to New Jersey and then he was traded to Boston. Like if we had him at that point, it would have been a cheap price point. It would have worked with everything because by that time we already lost Besser. And think about it. You got PD, JT, Zaka, and Bluger. And then you wouldn't have to extend Bluger and you'd move up. Even if JT left, you move Zaka up to second, PD up to first, Bluger up to third, and then you have your Abby line. Like it would have worked out seamless, even with in the world of losing Bo and JT Miller.
I do like this from Connor. I almost said Joshua. Joshua over Kane each and every single day. Yep. Kane did well tonight, but he has 28 penalty minutes already, 14 games in. Yeah, that's ugh. Like,
or he doesn't show up.
Or that.
He comes in for the Pims. He comes in for the Pims and that's it. And then this, like he was lucky. Like he got his goals today. It was a nice shot.
Yeah, but are we gonna go another 14 before he scores another? But
no, I think I think once he starts scoring, he gets to it. Like I think he's going after it. Like after that other goal being called off in mini, like he came back the next game and scored. Like he came back and scored. So hopefully he's not satisfied with just the 2 goals in one game and actually does something.
Yeah, like I bet that probably pissed him off, But I mean, I do have Kane in one of my fantasy pools that deals with a lot of like penalty minutes. So I guess he's gonna help me out for that, but at the same time, That's not the lone category I'm looking for. I do like this from Justin. Wait, wrong one. Sorry. This one. Looking back on it, imagine if the Canucks fully rebuild as early as 2013 offseason when they got struck by San Jose, we would probably be further along. Now, that's actually a really good point, Justin. Because that was like tail end, like right off like 2011. I mean, he said it right there, getting swept by. I mean, San Jose was pretty good in 2013. Like they were good around like the 2010s, early 2010s, and then they kind of took a nosedive. But I have to agree with Justin on this. If they had
2013, they still had Hurdle. They still had Hurdle.
Yeah.
They had, did they have Jumbo at the time, or was he in Toronto already?
I'm not sure.
Marlowe, I think, was still
I think
around
they had
at that
Marlowe.
time.
Yeah, think
Jumbo,
they made.
Marlowe, Brent Burns.
Yeah, they definitely had Burns. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I forget who their goalie was. Was it Niemi at the time,
I don't know. We would have to look that up.
or ask SGA? But yeah, I think they had like Niemi, or no, they wouldn't have had Nabokov back then. That's way back. But Justin does continue with going off of that. He says, I get why they didn't do it after 2011 and 2012 with the President trophies and the Sedins winning, their careers winding down. But that Shark sweep in 2013 should have accelerated an early rebuild. And I kind of have to agree with him on this.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm smelling what you're selling there, Justin, for sure. Urban is correcting about the JT trade. First round
Blake
to
Coleman.
Tampa. Tampa traded the
Damn.
pick to New Jersey for Blake Coleman, and New Jersey selects Shakur. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Maka.
Makamadulan.
So Tampa got Blake Coleman. Interesting. And now Coleman's in Calgary.
Yeah.
I do like this from Connor. Lots of comments. I love it. Keep it coming, guys. Kane needs to remember he's on a team. Yes. He has been known to do what he wants. Rusty and Dusty pointed out the two goals we have up against Montreal, where he was way out of position. And yeah, that's one thing I noticed about the Minnesota game, despite it being on mute. I did see at one point he was like yelling at Foot at one point, and then I noticed like Foot like yelled back at him or something. This was like when he got that misconduct. So it looks like he's even like yelling at Foot. It's like, dude, that's your fucking coach. Like, I'll be honest, I'm surprised he didn't get benched after that. I'm a little surprised.
He got benched. He got benched in overtime.
Yeah.
He didn't play one shift in overtime.
But I mean, like,
Reichel had like I don't know, like at least a minute and a half in overtime. As much time as like Best and like Petey and Huggy. Yeah.
Speaking of that, New Jersey traded that Makamadulan in a package for Timo Meyer. Wow.
Interesting.
So New Jersey, I would definitely
It's like a full turn.
Got a full good deal of that, because Meyer's fantastic in New Jersey. Justin says it was Niemi. It was Niemi and Grice who were in San Jose at the time. But yeah, I just thought Kane may have
it was Staylock
for the entire game. Staylock for
it's actually Staylock. It was Staylock Niemi.
Oh, so it wasn't Grice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn, Rafi Torres was still playing at that time. They had Pavelski. No, for San Jose. Pavelski, Jumbo Joe, Marlowe, Logan Couture, Brent Burns, Dan Boyle, Hurdle, Vlasic. Like, they had a pretty stacked team in 2013.
I love this from Urban. I wonder what SGA thinks of Muhammadulan. That's good. That's good.
You should get him on sometime.
Maybe. Well, when do the Sharks play the Canucks next?
The only game that I remember is December 27th. and that's in Vancouver.
Connor's like, I'd say SJ isn't thinking about him at all. He's probably fixated on Celebrini.
No, it's Misa. His favorite player is Misa.
Hey, what about Will Smith? And no, I'm not talking about the gosh darn baseball player. Screw that guy. Irvin, bro, I'd be fixated on Celebrini too. Yeah.
Hey, Connor, if you're still here, do you want to jump on the stream with us?
He said he'd rather just give it to us. He commented that way earlier. But hey, the invitation is still there, dude.
Connor, is there a way to get in touch with you? Like, is there a contact? Should we like ask Clay for it, or like, is there any way to be in touch with you?
I mean, even if it was like a future post game show, we'd love to get your thoughts for sure. And yes, ignore the Blue Jays hat. I know I'm still wearing a Blue Jays hat, but actually, while we have a second here, this is actually my, where is it? World Series one that I literally got Saturday morning and wore during the game, and they still lost. So, but yeah, I actually ordered this one after Game 7 of the ALCS, and it took until Game 7 of the World Series before I got it. But
Nice.
yeah, he says if you want to chat for sure, I'll join you guys. Yeah, I'll just post the link. See if I can do that.
Yeah, I got
That'd
it.
be easiest. I got it.
I got it. Uh-oh, I can't do it. You have to do it.
Oh, I'll do it real quick. It's okay.
That's odd,
Yeah.
man. Okay.
Let's see if this works. There you go. I just posted it in the chat. At least the one good thing about the World Series being over, I can focus on the Canucks now. All right.
No, you know what? Sunday was actually
All right, here's
nice.
Connor.
What's
Connor,
up,
thanks
buddy?
for coming on, bud.
Hey, you guys are keeping well?
Doing all right.
Sorry, let me take these off. I'm just not interested in the distraction from the blue screen on the reflection and everything. So,
Oh, good.
did you enjoy the game, guys?
Yeah, it was good. You know, third period. I mean, obviously, as I mentioned, I only caught the third and obviously overtime. But from what I saw, obviously, you know, that Preds tying it up. Obviously, was a bit of a kick in the nuts. Going like, oh, here we go again. But you know, from what I saw on Russell's stream, things look promising. And then Nashville goes and ties it up. So I was prepared for another loss, but luckily Besser was able to get it done.
Even 4-2 up, I'm like, they're going to choke the lead again because they just have this. It's like 2 seasons ago, if I remember, where they set that infamous record of 8 games losing a multi-goal lead. That's like one of the most unwanted records in NHL history. Like, they have such promise and they build up the lead, but they just seem to struggle to hold it. Now, granted, a lot of it has to come down to when they take those penalties, but at the same time, again, you know, and which again brings me to the question of, you know, what were the defense doing, you know, and I'm sure some will say, well, maybe Demko could probably have done better on 1 or 2 of the goals that they gave up, but it's just again another example that, you know, when they're under pressure in their own zone by the opposition forwards and centers, that even when they were in possession by the boards, you just sense that, you know, they seem to have this inability to clear the puck properly, and they just end up giving away cheap possession like they did again this game. And like they've done plenty of games now. You know, that to me, I think was a big problem throughout this game, especially since I noticed that Nashville did have 1 or 2 fairly physical players that put a lot of pressure on the Canucks, that basically led to them scoring the goals to tie the game. So, you know, while it wasn't much of a surprise to me that it would happen, it just it was so frustrating because especially since whenever we were in possession for the first two periods, we were all over them. And
Yeah.
Hughes's return was massive because I definitely noticed that the last game against Minnesota, which I watched, he was badly missed because there was hardly any threat up front. And I think if he was playing that game, I think definitely we would have put a few more shots and maybe even scored a few more goals against Minnesota, especially since they were going up against Gustafsson, I think it was. And I'm like, with all these long shots, no way you're beating him. So having him back was huge, and I can honestly say, his return was massive, without question.
Yeah, for sure.
Do
Justin,
did
just
you
says,
notice?
Go
Sorry,
ahead, Joe.
just to tag on to what Connor said. Did you did you watch the Nashville game last week too, right?
Admittedly, I didn't get to see much of it because I
Okay.
think around the time they were playing in Nashville, I was actually driving home from work because I finished at like 5 in the
Okay.
evening our local time, so I didn't really get to see much of the game. But I was off today actually, so I was able to watch the whole game.
Okay.
But yeah, go on.
Did you notice in overtime? There are moments for me that I felt it was a little cringe because Nashville was very aggressive. There were points where the Canucks came back, had the puck, and I don't know if it was O'Reilly or who it was just going hard at them, trying to steal the puck. They almost stole it, and it was against Huggy,
Yeah.
and they coughed up the puck. I think Demmer made the save, but there were a few instances where Nashville was very aggressive in overtime. Like even though Canucks sort of had the control, you saw Nashville was like, we got to win this, and they've been
Mhm.
consistently aggressive against the Canucks. It's been weird. Like this is the only team that I've seen of all the games that Canucks have played have been so aggressive to the point where they lose the puck like just constantly. Did you notice any of that?
I did. I definitely did in overtime, and I know for a fact that opposition teams know that that is a big weakness for Vancouver, especially in overtime, because unfortunately the players are just not physical enough. You just don't. I just don't trust. Like I'm watching them, and I just don't trust their ability to hold off any hits or checks or checks to the back or everything like that. I just feel like they can just get knocked off the puck too easily. If I were to look at say someone like Archdeep Baines, I'm not quite sure what his role is in the team right now because because my understanding was, he was kind of brought in as part of the Abbey line that he would have the ability to handle to handle the physical nature of the game that would kind of come his way. But unfortunately, multiple times he's been knocked off the puck way too easily, and even granted, he's and granted even in the many seasons he's been in the NHL, if ever Hughes is in possession and he turns and there's already an opposition player who's able to read that and is right on top of him, Hughes is like under so much pressure that he is almost knocked off balance and he ends up losing possession. And like whenever so in the way he can kind of get a turn and get away with it is if he's just about a little bit quicker, that the opposition player isn't able to read and think fast enough to stay with him. But if ever anyone stays directly with him, that's when I start to freak out. That's when I start to worry that Hughes might not be able to lose possession, and that I think is definitely something that other teams I'm sure will be watching. And say, oh, we're up against Vancouver next game. We just need to see how they handle us. Putting physical pressure, adding that physical aggressive edge. Like you alluded to, Gerald, because by doing that'll just put the Canucks under serious pressure. And I'm not quite sure who on the coaching staff is able to kind of help them manage that situation better. But at their next practice session, they need to have someone like Kiefer Sherwood maybe, who's a prime example of well able to handle the physical nature. Have him just come out and just tell each of his teammates what they have to do to handle any incoming hit or any check that's going to be put on them and their opposition end or along the boards. by having someone who's able to help, who's able to be kind of a coach himself. That would make
Players
such a
coach.
big difference. Yeah, absolutely. Have a bit more leadership, I think. And to me, I think Sherwood, with the season he's having right now, I want him out there in the next practice session telling each one of his teammates what they have to do. And, I'm sure he probably would say to them, well, see if you can try and take the puck off me. And if they try anything with him, he'll just, remind them of why he was the leading why he finished as the leader in hits last season. He was that aggressive himself. Just a bit of coaching, plus a bit of player-based coaching too, would really help the team.
It's funny how you brought that up because the last play in the last minute of overtime, just before the last face-off with about 10 seconds to go, there was a play where Huggy got overpowered, he got knocked off, and Nashville got the puck. And if it wasn't Sherwood's stick that tipped it, they would have gone on a breakaway. And it was PD that gave it away, I believe. PD gave it away, tried to, I don't know, throw it back, and Nashville almost had a run, but thankfully Sherwood tipped the puck, and then there was like a stoppage in play. So it's great that you say that, because Sherwood does bring a lot of sort of the defensive side of things. And now this year he's bringing a lot of the offensive side. Like I think, come on, man, he's shooting over 30%. It's getting lucky like that puck, whatever percentage thing. It's way too high to be sustained, but good on him. The only thing is Baines impressed me during the home opener. 2 consecutive blocks. The next game, also the same thing, but it's dropped off the last few games. He seems like what you're saying, like he's been knocked off. It's kind of like he's pulling a PD. Like he's down at the end, and then he like gets swept off his feet somehow, and he falls down. So those kind of things. So that also makes me question like how the roster is gonna to be filled out when people come back in, like Garland, Bluger, even Hoglander. So would Baines be the first one to be out? Obviously, McEachran right now is going to be like, he got his first point the other day, great, but he's not going to be staying up here. Who else would be out? It would be Baines. Would you move Ratu over on to left wing when you have all the people? So right now, if everyone was healthy and we have Bluger back, it would be first line would be Petey, then it'd be Reichel, Bluger, and Sasson. Then would you move Ratu onto the wing, or would you put Ratu in the center and move Sasson on the wing?
Yeah, I think that's a very good suggestion, Gerald. Certainly I like to think, anytime I've seen Ratu play on the wing, I think actually he's actually done a pretty solid job, it has to be said. I think another thing too that, Ratu has, and I'm sure you guys know it yourselves, he's a massive face-off winner. And, when you have a game against Nashville where I think they won more face-offs than, Vancouver did in the game. And I think Ratu didn't participate in many of those. I think like you need to have someone, I think, on the team who's able to bring that bonus in winning possession back for his team.
Steven Stamkos.
Yeah, Steven. Oh, Jesus Christ, Steven Stamkos! Don't even get me started. I think I remember what was it last season? If I remember, he scored like 2 goals against us in Vancouver. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! Whatever team he plays for, he's one of those that just plays so well against us. I'm sick of the sight of him.
But bro, he had no shots today. 0.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was.
I've been preaching this the last day and a bit. We need a face-off, like Stamkos on the face-off. I didn't look at his stats today, but career-wise, even this year or even last year, it's over 50 for sure. And we need someone consistent. Like Ratu, he's not 50 fully. He's just like a tad under 50 or just hovering around 50. PD's like a 40. Sassoon, like he's like 30. He went one game where it was like, I don't know. He went God, it was something ridiculous, like under 30%. It
Hmm.
was he was at like 13% or some shit like that. Like we need
Yeah.
someone, we need a right hand face off person like now. That's what we need.
Yeah, we do definitely. I definitely would, as you say, move Ratu to the wing. Now, in terms of what line he would best suit him, admittedly, sorry, Suji, I'm not that kind of person because when it comes to picking lines, I wouldn't be confident in picking the best ones myself. So I'd rather leave that up to you guys to work that out. To be honest, but definitely, I think Ratu. I'd keep Ratu for a little while. I'd say maybe, and maybe then if it comes to it, when all the senior players are back, then yeah, they'll probably have to move him down. They'll probably have to move him down to Abbey. I'd say. Then again, they
You
might not
can't,
do that. We'll have to wait and
can't.
see.
He's on a one
And,
way. You can't. He's on a one
okay.
way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's staying around in the senior
He
team
has
even
to
after
stay.
all the big news are back. Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But to try and answer your question about Baines, would I move him down? Um, I mean, you said so yourself earlier. He did so well in the season opener, and yeah, 100%, I agree. I watched that game. He was one of the big contributors against Calgary, but he's just dropped off again, and that's not the first time he's done that. So I'm still trying to work out what his best role is on this team. And if you're still trying to work that out, and if even Adam Foote himself is trying to work that out, then there's an issue. And unless I recall last season, his career was like a freaking yo-yo. He was up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
Assigned to Abbotsford, recall from Abbotsford. I'd say the most amount I'd ever seen or heard of any Canucks player moving between minor and major affiliate. I'm like,
That
what's
that was
going on?
mainly due to cap reasons. So it was like a paper transaction. Because last
Mm,
year they were still able to do that, and he didn't have to go play on the team. But
mm,
this year he's not allowed. And also with Baines, he would have to clear waivers in order to go back to Abbey this year. The only players that are still eligible is Sesson. I think he only has roughly about um, I think he has like less than 20 games left that he's waiver exempt.
yeah,
Mancini still has roughly about 30. Aside from that, Carlson, I don't think he can clear either. Like he needs to clear.
right.
Um, so there's going to be a lot of movement before all the players come back. I think some trades need to be done in order to make sure that we don't lose some of the players down to waivers. So it's going to get interesting in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that also I think brings up Pierre Olivier Joseph. And look, I'm not the kind of person that likes to knock any player, but again, I think he's played two or three games now where Vancouver has lost, and I just don't think he offers little, quite frankly. So I kind of feel like he's probably one of those that could be moved on even before season's end, I'd say. And I don't like to say that about any Canucks player, but again, can anyone really say anything that he's done so far this season that he's played?
So POJ's main role is to sit in the press box, just in case there's any injuries. Like he's that filler player. That's why they signed him because like say if we had a healthy Mancini, we have Willander. You don't want those kids to be sitting in the press box, and you need a body there, right? Just in case anything happens. So that
Yeah,
is his main sort of role. And if he were to be sent down to the minors, someone will claim him for the exact reason why we signed him. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
is why he's here. Because if like today, like this game today, they they sat POJ and played Willander because he actually played quite well against Minnesota. And then in St. Louis, he played okay, but he definitely improved in the last two games, and POJ was sitting. So with that said, POJ will stay for backup purposes. But for Baines, Sassoon, Carlson, like I don't know how they're gonna rearrange all that because some of them are are not waiver exempt, and we potentially could lose them. A lot of people are saying at the beginning of the season, instead of because Coots came up, who would you waive? And they didn't waive Baines. They waived Sasson, mainly because he was waiver exempt for an extra 31 games. And now he's already played about 10 games. So yeah, about 20 games left. That's okay. I mean, you can quote me on this stream. I think because of that reason, if they aren't able to make a trade of some sort, he will be the one that's sent down.
Assassin, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's cap, if it has to do with cap waivers and all of that, he's probably the first one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's okay. An hour 16, I'll clip it.
Good to know.
Okay.
Good to know.
I do like this from Justin. I'll take Stamkos if they retain 50%.
For who?
Stamkos.
I know,
Like
but
trade-
who would you be sending? Who would you be sending the other way?
Yeah,
Tyler, who would you send if we took Stamkos? Who would you be sending? Who would you attempt to send that Nashville would be like, okay, cool, we'll take it and we'll retain 50%? Like, what kind of assets would you offer them?
That's the thing. I don't think they would take it. I'd send them Kane.
I
don't think they'd take it.
Who was literally in the twilight of his career. Look, and I mean no disrespect to Stamkos. Obviously, he was a massive player. But again, that's just another one of those players that's like literally on the downward trajectory of their career. Do we really need another one?
Here's the thing. I was looking on X, Twitter, recently, especially during this game today. A lot of Nashville fans are calling for Stamkos' head. They're like, why the hell do we have this player? Can we just like get rid of him? Blah, 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 blah. So Stamkos is at a low point. I don't care if he scores, assists, whatever. I could care less if he's on a downward trajectory, as long as he can win faceoffs. We need someone that can win faceoffs, that can alleviate what PD can't do, because there's no way in this season that he's going to improve to a point where he's 50%. Maybe in the offseason, if you're like, hey, train, do faceoffs, make sure you win these. Cool. We don't have time for that right now. The quick fix would be Stamkos plays with PD on the left wing and Besser on the right wing. And then you would move down. Then you would still have the right goal, Ratu, Bluger, or Sasson, whatever. That would work out perfectly. So what is extra is the left wing, because PD moves to left wing. Then who would you move? Kane, DeBrusque, Baines, or who else? I don't know, maybe Ratu. Like, who would those are some of the assets that you can move if you look at it this way. Because if you move Kane out, hey, Kane scored 2 goals. Kane scored 2 goals on your team. Wouldn't you want to have him on your team? We'll take Stamkos off your hands. You just retain it. Kane's only on the books for 1 more year, for this year. He's gone. Stamkos is at $8 million. You retain him at 50% for the first year, and then we'll deal with the rest afterwards. Things work out. Like that's my ideal right now, because the main issue is for those crucial offensive face-offs, even defensive ones. Like say you're up 1 goal at the end of the game, you need someone to win those face-offs, or else they win it. And it's a man up, so it's a 6-on-5. If you lose that face-off, they get the shot up to top. Boom, game's tied. PD's gonna lose that face-off. Then what? If you have a Stamkos in there, he can kind of defend a little bit. I don't care if you can score any goals or make any shots. Just do what you need to do. It's like Moneyball. You fit pieces in places and players where they need to be, and we're good. That's how I see it. But
yeah, no, that's a good point. If that's something that he can bring to the team, especially if, as you say, they're either shorthanded or say a 6-on-5 last 2 minutes of the game, and they have someone like Stamkos who's able to do that, as you say, 30-40% of the time at least. Yeah, I can say that. Like it's like you see it, it's like Swervin pointed out, it's about having the team having the right structure, because he talked about Benning's influence and how the team was poorly structured. Like, again, it's about trying to make sure that you have the right amount of veterans and the right amount of senior players, the boys who are earning a few $1 million a year a season, and then obviously the kids that are coming up. Just making sure to have that right balance in place would be huge. I mean, and obviously his past experience as a 2-time Cup champion, at least Stamkos understands what it means to win. So, yeah, I suppose I can see that. It's only just the fact that, again, it's just as he's past his prime. I'm just wondering, is that going to be enough?
I think
in the long term,
you need some veteran presence, and you need someone to tell PD how to win faceoffs and how to act as a professional. And as Jordan from Uncensored would say, like, stop being a princess, grow up, you're a professional. Like, you need someone with that pedigree where you've won a gold medal, you've won Stanley Cups. Like, yeah, this is how you should lead a team, right? But
no,
anyway.
absolutely. No, sorry, I'm just reading that comment. No way in hell we will not give him Sherwood. No chance.
I'm with you on that, Connor. Absolutely not. I saw that and I was like, no. Although they probably would want Sherwood. I would not blame them.
They were dumb for not re-signing him.
Yeah, that's on Nashville. You guys fucked up on that.
Two of
Sherwood
the most
sign and
unwanted
trade
players.
and a pick.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was just saying there. Two of the most unwanted players in Nashville became major influences for Vancouver. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Although I do like this from Justin as well, and he's not wrong about this. Stamkos,
yeah, that would
look sexy.
That would look.
That would sell. Those jerseys would sell. Absolutely,
and
but
Aquaman would definitely do that because that'll bring him some revenue on jerseys.
Oh yeah, definitely, and he's all about the money.
As if ticket prices aren't bad enough already. Yeah, Yeah, look, obviously, I've said how I felt many times about Aquilini, just like I'm sure you guys have, as I'm sure most of the majority of the fans have felt how they feel about the Aquilinis.
Actually, hey Connor, if you're ever looking for tickets, reach out to me. I have, like, if Clay doesn't have any, I still have some that I'm letting go. I don't know how you're gonna reach me, but I don't know. I can pass my contact over to Clay and give it to you or whatnot. And if you need anything, let me know.
Do you know what? Actually, it's actually fine, Gerald. You see, I'm kind of having to worry about saving up for other purposes right now. So the hockey is kind of taking a back seat, but I appreciate the offer, though. I mean, maybe I might save up for maybe one more game, one more home game later on this year, or maybe early 2026. I'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I'm not really prioritizing that as such. But thanks for the offer, at least anyway.
Yeah, no worries.
Justin does ask, Sherwood is going to be 31 by the end of the year. What kind of extension would you realistically give him?
4x4. 4x5. How's that?
Yeah, I was thinking 5 years too. I'm not quite sure. I mean, if he's been one of our form players this season, he's going to want a lot more than $4 million, I'd say. He could ask for 7 or 8, I'd say, because if you think about it,
TD money.
If you think about it, though, like Hronek, for instance, Filip Hronek is I think 7. I can't remember what he is. Is
8.
He 8x8? And you can't really
8x7.
8x7. You can't really say in any way that Hronek has been any better than Sherwood has been this season. So if Sherwood wants his contract, he's definitely going to want to expect more than what Hronek is getting, and that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Like, I think
especially if the cap's going to 105.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think 4x4 is a good starting point, but like you just said, Connor, he's probably, if he keeps going on the trajectory that he's on for the season, like he's on pace for 60 something goals last night I saw. He's gonna obviously want more than 4 for sure, absolutely. But I do think 4x4 is a good starting point. But I don't think they even have any negotiations right now. Last I heard from Dollywall, they've stalled, so he might be just waiting to see what he does, like
No,
over
it's
the next
stupid
several
because
games.
they should have done it over the summer.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
that's why Sherwood actually got a new agent because he just thought that nothing was being done. He likes Vancouver from like some of the stuff that I've read, but there's no like right now at this point with all the goals and all of that, even if he goes on the decline, I think it's worth it to give him like he's going to be looking for at least 5. If we did it before the summer, it probably would have been at a 3.5 as opposed to 5. Even at 5 million for 4 years, I think I would do it. I mean, just for the hits. Come on,
I
man.
would,
The
yeah.
guy's like a hit
I would.
machine.
I
Oh
would
no,
definitely,
and not to
and he's
mention
got the
he's one of
hands.
those that, and not to mention he's just one of those players that just you just sense like he just wants to keep going. It's hard for him. I cannot think of a game he's had a season where he's dropped it all. Now, of course, you can't expect him to do that each and every single game, and especially in an 80+ game schedule. But each game he's played, he has been so goddamn reliable. You know that's what you really need from someone like Kiefer Sherwood.
Absolutely. I've been high on him since last season. So yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you, Gerald. If they signed him in the summer, which is something I really hope they would have done, especially after
Yeah.
the Garland Besser. I thought he
I was
the
surprised.
next
Yeah,
one.
me
I was
too.
surprised.
I thought after exactly Garland, or actually it'd be Besser, Garland, Demko, it would have been Sherwood right away at 3.25, 3.5 maybe. Um, you know, I would have been happy with that with those signings, but they didn't do it. They were worried
Yeah.
because it was kind of like Dak, like Joshua.
Mhm.
But it's like a total different scenario. Like, come on, man. Like he was close to leading the hits both years. So the year that they signed him, that year he was like second in hits. And then the year he played for us, he led the league. So why wouldn't you up him right away when you can? Like that's just the dumbest such a bonehead move.
Yeah, but I do agree. I think the whole Dak thing may have held them back, but definitely think they missed an opportunity there on signing him. And yeah, lots of Sherwood love in here. And yeah, Justin's absolutely right. The guy's got a motor. Like he's got so much energy. I mean, I'll never forget. I forget which exact game it was. Wonder if it was St. Louis, but it was early in the season. I think it was towards the end of the game. You know, there's a bit of a brouhaha, and he flips off the guy who he's yakking with. I just thought that was hilarious. He like full on like flips him off, and the cameras got it.
I don't remember.
It was like
I feel like I can picture the moment he does that, but I honestly can't remember which game it was.
I think it was the last the Chicago game in Chicago last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we were expecting Dickinson, but he went and I think he fought with someone in Chicago, but not Dickinson.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I forget which game it was, but it was early on in the season, and he like full on in view of the camera, like flipped off the guy and then skated off like towards the penalty box. But I just thought that was hilarious how he he doesn't take shit from anyone, and I love that about him. I do like this from Irvin too. Let's see if it'll load.
If you bring back Sherwood, how are you framing it? Is he a cheap top 6 or a premium bottom 6 guy? Cheap top 6 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, it'd be a top 9. Top 9. We'll say top 9, but he can definitely. I would say he can play top 6, but more suited for like a top 9 role.
Yeah, I agree with that. For sure. I mean, he's playing like a top 6 guy right now. So if they ever need somebody in the top 6, throw Sherwood in
And
there.
and another thing is because I don't think a lot of people have tape on him. Like they don't expect him. They just think he's a role player,
Yep.
bottom 6. People don't worry about him, right? And now he's popping up, and the top lines don't really realize the hands that he has. Goalies
I
don't
was
have tape on him,
just about to say that.
and going on. So that's another factor that you need to consider, because if he continues to play like this, scouts or whoever teams will have tapes of this, and they'll know how to defend against him, and it might be a different story. But you can't really defend these hits. It's like a Tom Wilson like coming at you. Like how do you prepare for that, right? So
Yeah.
just because of the hits, I would give him the money.
Yeah, I do think he's definitely, you got a great point there with his hands. People don't realize how good his hands are. And I think his shot is really underrated too. I mean, we saw that goal he scored against St. Louis. Like nobody knew it even went in, except for
That
the
was
referee who was
sick.
right there. That was like
Mm.
unbelievable. Like he's got a very underrated shot. So
Yeah, he definitely does. Especially a couple of goals I recall he scored last season in a 2-on-1. His shot was like and like most of the ones he took, they were in before the goalie even realized they were there. They were just that they were just that quick, and they were just that precise as well. Like definitely on his day when he's in prime form, Sherwood can certainly rack up the ability to score another hat trick like he's done a couple of times in his career. He's just that good.
yeah, you can even date back to the first goal of the season. No one saw that shot coming, and he just ripped it.
Exactly. Nobody did.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fitting that it had to be him because of how again just how reliable he is. And definitely I think I definitely see him, I'd say, without hoping to jinx him, I definitely see another game in him where he'll get another hat trick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if he keeps up this pace, for sure. That's why I did that video. Like, is he pricing himself out of Vancouver? Is he doing what Suter did last year, basically? Hopefully not. But yeah, Justin actually just said it. It's a good point. Is this a contract year performance, or is he rising? And I believe you touched on this earlier, Gerald. He's shooting 31%. We know that's not going to last, but hopefully it lasts for a while, and he's able to rack up the goals. So
It's like Kuzi.
shot,
Kuzi was on
13.
like Kuzi was at 38 when he was with us that year. He scored it was like 39 goals.
Yeah, he almost scored 40.
Yeah, I kind of miss him a little bit. He was, when Kuzi was with us, like in his first season, he was unbelievable. Unfortunately, it was, he just dropped off, and I'm like, yeah, players, aren't expected to like be perfect each and every single season, but his drop in form, I'm like, was very harsh on him getting traded to Calgary. But I mean, I can understand why they did it, but it was a bit harsh in my opinion, and I kind of miss him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too. I'm a big Kuzi guy. Gerald knows. I still have a skate Kuzi jersey that I got like a year before he got traded, and I was pissed when they traded him. I was like, really? Now I got to go get another one.
I remember he was best known in one of the press conferences, if I remember, when we had Vasily Podkolzin, and he let's just say that he had very broken English. And so Podkolzin basically did the translating for him because they both speak Russian. And I remember Kuzi said at the end of the press conference, best translator ever, in direction of his teammate. And I'm like, that's such an iconic phrase to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had quite the personality too. Like the whole bananas and Pepsi, brother, Pepsi. I just thought that was like he just had an infectious personality, and the smile too was absolutely amazing.
Likable.
He was so likable, and he's tearing it up in LA right now. So
he is.
Kudos to LA for getting him, because him on a line with Kempe and Kopitar, the AK line, is fantastic. Like kudos to them for that. I do like this from Rain. By the way, thanks for being here, Rain.
Hey,
Who has a
Rain.
better outside chance of making the Olympic roster? Sherwood, Besser, or Garland? Ooh, this is a good one. I like
Not
this.
Sherwood. Not Sherwood.
Besser probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
probably.
agree.
Yeah, I think I would have to say Besser. Yeah, has the outside chance because I think Garland might be a lock. Maybe, I don't know. He was on the junior team. I don't know if that means he's a lock in it, but between the
And
three,
I think they need someone gritty like Garland that can go in the dirty areas, his spins and all that. Like I think that would work. But Sherwood, I think they already have players of that sort of
yeah,
caliber there playing that role. So at best, it's just a shot, right? As long as you get someone there that can do the playmaking and driving and get him the puck, he'll rip that goal for you. So yeah.
I say less. I'd say less American players, and I'd say less Canucks on the American team, the better. Because as far as I'm concerned, when you consider the toll that the Four Nations face-off took on all the teams that participated and the injuries that were sustained from them, I'd certainly say the less Canucks in the Olympics or World Championships, the better. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew Tkachuk in particular has been apparently have been carrying an injury since the Four Nations. Now, whether he's
Yeah.
back to full fitness, whether he's back to full fitness, I don't know. But that was a big problem for them, for Florida, even leading up to the playoffs, and even now this season for them in particular, like, and how much they've fallen off. It's because of these unfortunate injuries that just happened when you have these international breaks during the season.
yeah. He's out. Kachuk's out till January. I made the
Yeah.
mistake of drafting him without realizing that. So I have him stashed on LTIR right now. But yeah, he's out till like at least January, which absolutely sucks.
Yeah, Brady's out too.
Yeah. Love this from Justin. Love Sherwood. Going back to the Sherwood discussion, but this market is so guilty of overvaluing their own guys. He's not wrong. And wanting to keep everyone even at the detriment of long-term team success. Kuzi, Besser, JT, and now maybe Sherwood. He's got actually a really good point on that.
Yeah, it's actually very true.
Yeah, very true. I do love this from Irvin too. If you want to vote in the Sherwood camp for that question from Rain, Sherwood does have 5 goals on Team Canada's goalie, so I don't know if Team USA is looking at that, but hey, he knows how to beat Bennington, man.
He didn't have a goal against St. Louis the second game. It was just that
Sherwood?
first one. Yeah, because they played St. Louis twice. They played St. Louis on Thanksgiving in Vancouver, and then they just recently played. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I played him a few days ago where he scored the hat trick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, he scored 2 in the first game and then a hat trick in the second one. Justin says we need to sell high and recoup assets and not let guys walk for nothing. Yes, that is one thing I'm concerned about with Sherwood, especially after what happened with Suter last year. Very true. And yeah, Justin says Kachucks won't be back till after January.
Watch them magically be ready for the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
He'll be up for it big time. Make no mistake about it.
Pull a Mark Stone, who's injured
Dude,
right now too.
Yeah.
US is going to put on a show after losing the Four Nations, and they have the Kachuk brothers, the Hughes brothers, they have Hellebuck, maybe even Demko. Like it's a sick team. Like it's going to be a hard team to play against.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they'll want blood after the Four Nations. Make no mistake about it. But but if you think about it as well, one player you guys haven't mentioned, and which really kind of just goes to show you how fraudulent I feel he is Austin Matthews.
Mm.
He scored today.
Sorry,
he scored today.
He scored today. Well, good for him because
and last game, 2-game scoring streak.
Yeah, but can anyone really say, oh, he's a perfect example of a captain and yeah, he scored the last couple of games, but when you consider how much money he's making, he's had such a terrible start to his own season too, and like the problem is the way how his mindset is currently is in Toronto and how much he needed Mitch Marner to make him look even better than he is now without him, like again, is just another example of a player that I think is a little bit slightly on the overrated side. And I think probably, probably the United States having him on the team, I don't know. I'd say that'll probably be a detriment to them, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how Marner is doing in Vegas right now, like without him. So
He's money.
I mean, Eichel and Marner is money right there. I haven't really watched much of Vegas games, but from what I'm hearing, Marner and Eichel are money.
Yeah, but Tyler, you gotta thank Austin Matthews for Game 7 of against the Mariners, man.
True. This is true. I mean, I'm surprised that worked and the Team Canada jersey didn't. That baffles me.
Bro, the game was fixed.
Justin's like, I know this is Canucks chatter, but are the Kraken and Ducks for real? I don't know about the Kraken, but I said
Ducks,
all along
yes.
that people are going to be sleeping on the Ducks.
I've been wanting to say it, and I'd said it on a couple of streams. I absolutely, you can say what you want about Joel Quenneville and, his recent history and vice versa. Look, obviously, what he contributed to what happened in the past, obviously, is something people will never forget, and it's something that'll stay with him for the rest of his life. But I really appreciate how he has come back into coaching after what happened, and the amazing impact he has made, turning one of the league's biggest whipping boy teams into Pacific's #1 in just 1 month is insane. It genuinely cannot be understated. I certainly didn't anticipate Anaheim, of all teams, being #1 after 14 games in the season. And yeah, fair enough. It's 14 games in. Chances are they might not hold that for very long. But
no, they've only played 11 games, Connor. They're 7-3-1.
Actually,
they're 7-3-1.
Like, that is insane when you think about it, and how they, quite frankly, I feel made the right decision getting rid of Trevor Zegras, because he had become more of a, I guess you could say, a locker room cancer to the team with his diva antics and his off ice behavior. Like, they certainly did great getting rid of him. And one player, actually, I want to say, who I think deserves to be laughing at someone else right now is Cutter Gauthier, because I can guarantee you right now he should be laughing all the way to the other side of the continent over at Philadelphia, because of the way that they treated him when he had his first game against them for Anaheim. They were saying, "Oh, we don't need you." Well, I guarantee you, he certainly doesn't need them now.
No, and funny enough, they have Zegras now. So,
that's even more hilarious, because even having Zegras on the team, they're struggling right now, whereas Anaheim are flying high.
I like this one from Urban.
It's a Talkett effect.
Yeah. I like this one from Ducks are going to finish their rebuild before us, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and tying down Mason McTavish as well to that mega deal as well was big for them too.
Yeah.
Of all the talk of him coming over here, I mean, Anaheim put that to rest completely, and quite frankly, he's better off where he is in Anaheim.
Yeah, I didn't think he would come here at all. Like, I thought about the possibility, and then I just was like, no, he's not. Anaheim's gonna match any offer that, they have so much money, they have so much cap space, and no one's gonna be able to outbid them. It's like they're the Dodgers, kind of, in a sense.
Like, bro, the guy took less money. He signed for like 8 when he could have asked for like 10, 11. He could ask for PD money, and he didn't. There's no way he's coming to Vancouver. But here's a person that the Canucks slept on and should have persisted on. And I don't know how popular this person is, or what you guys think. But here's a fact. Jack Roslovic has a 2-game power play goal, or 1 power play goal back-to-back games. So he has 2 goals, a goal in the last 2 games, both power play goals. He has 3 goals on the season, 3 assists for 6 points in 12 games. Right shot centerman. What were the Canucks doing? They signed him for 1.5 million with a clause which passed already November 1st, where there was a no trade clause up until November 1st, which has passed. They can trade him when Hyman comes back in probably a week or two. If the Canucks are able to, bro, they should jump on that like now.
Well, unfortunately, as I'm sure you know by now, Gerald, unfortunately, Vancouver has actually been more willing to actually help them out for some inexplicable reason. Signing when they signed Vincent Desharnais and now signing Evander Kane. It seems like for some reason they're happy to take their deadwood. So
and they gave away Podkolzin for a fourth. We basically traded Podkolzin for Evander Kane. That's how bad it was.
I don't know, man.
God damn it!
I mean, I doubt Edmonton would be willing to give him to us as a divisional rival. To be honest with you, basically they're probably looking at us as if to say, we don't need to worry about them. They're saps. They'll happily take what we don't need.
Yeah, I mean at 1.5, that's not that much. They can probably.
I would have given the Canucks could have given $2 million, and it still would have been fine. God, pisses me off.
Yeah, you got Russell in the house. I mean, he was here earlier, but Russell's like, "Damn, look at this freeway."
You're right, Russell.
Yeah,
I'm the Asian token Asian guy right here.
I did see this. Justin said Oilers front office loves Sherwood. Yeah, they can't freaking have him.
No fucking way. Sorry. Pardon my French, guys.
No, it's all good. I was literally about to say the same exact thing.
No, imagine this. If the Canucks don't make it to the playoffs at trade deadline, imagine what they can get for Sherwood. Imagine Sherwood playing on the Oilers. Would he be that finishing forward that gets them over the hump and win the cup?
I mean, he would definitely help out the Oilers for sure. I forget what I was I think I was watching Canucks Conversation. Maybe they were talking about Sherwood going to the Oilers, and he would really help them out. Like he would help them get over the hump for sure. But at the same time, I don't want to see it.
100%. I do not want to see him anywhere near that team. No way. Whatever anybody says about, they're Canadian. They're a divisional rival. Let's not forget that. They also have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And those two are the furthest things from saints you would ever see on that team. When you see how they behaved in Game 3 of the Cup Final against Florida, they show their true colors. They're the furthest thing from a saintly team when people talk about how Florida were the ones that brought the dirty side of things to the Cup Final. Edmonton were just as guilty. So I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that garbage. And the thing is, I was more than happy to cheer for the Canadians on Florida's team to win the cup. That suited me down to the ground. I certainly don't want to see a divisional rival like Edmonton winning the cup.
Brad Marchand?
That was tough. I won't lie. That was tough. But at least he was no longer playing for Boston, because seeing him win the cup again with Boston would be very hard for me to take. So at least him not being with that team anymore, I could handle that. As much as I don't like either of them, as much as I hate both of them, I just hate McDavid more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of McDavid, before I pull up this, did you see him complain about the Jays game on the Jumbotron the other day during the Oilers game? Yeah, apparently he was complaining about it, saying it was distracting. It's like, why are you crying about that? Like, focus on the game. You should be looking at the Jumbotron.
No. Okay. To be fair, you're playing a game. People came to the arena to watch your game, and you have the audience reaction to the screen on, Jays hitting home runs or whatnot. It can be distracting. Like, to be like, what the hell? Why are they cheering? Like, all of a sudden, like it's understandable, right? Like, I'm not a McDavid fan, but given those circumstances, I think it's understandable, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what part he was referring to, but I do know that the Oilers broadcaster prematurely said the Jays won the World Series, and then the crowd like went nuts.
Oh, I
It was
saw that. I was
that play
like, oh
at
my
home
god.
plate. I heard the audio of that, and I was like, you dumbass! Like, why would you say that before the umpire even ruled if he was safe or not? Why would you prematurely say that? So, Connor, if you want
Maybe
to
he
blame
jinxed
anyone,
it. Maybe he
Possibly.
jinxed it.
oh yeah, that's what I'm going with. I blame Jack Michaels from the Oilers for sure. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just saw that and I was like, really, Connor? Like, again, I don't know exactly when it was going on or if it was like during a whistle or something like that. I'd understand if it was like during play, but there's also no audio too. So, but Russell asked this.
We have a
Connor,
question for yeah.
yeah, as an Irishman, how do you rate Evangelis's dive job on the Kane penalty?
To be honest with you, I have to admit I haven't actually seen the replay. I'll probably have to go back and watch the Sportsnet coverage again and find that moment. If it is to be believed that most are saying that Evangelista basically made the most of that, then at least I can be a lot more lenient than I was saying about Kane taking dumb penalties. If that is the case that Evangelista dived, then I think, quite frankly, what he should do is stop playing, pack his bags, go over to England and play a soccer game, because that to me sounds like is where he truly belongs.
I love it. Yeah, Russell was going off on Evangelista in his stream, and I absolutely loved it. Kept on calling him a bitch, and I was like, yes.
When Russell goes off, when Russell goes off, he goes off, and I seem to see him as being one of the level-headed, one of the more level-headed people. But trust me, it doesn't take much to piss him off.
Oh yeah, like that thing with Hughes was absolutely hilarious. Russell, I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. His rant on Hughes in the ice time, gold. I guess this is Justin talking about Sherwood to the Oilers. He's like, fuck that. I'd rather see the Oilers choke and crash out again. Yeah.
The theory that Canadians support other Canadian teams, I hate to break it to you guys, I don't think is entirely accurate.
No.
Let me ask you a question. Just one sec, Connor. So you're Canadian. Did you cheer for?
Well, I'm not Canadian. Well, I mean, I'm not Canadian, but certainly it would be a dream for me if I did acquire a Canadian passport. Hopefully, in some point in the future.
You're at least PR, like you're a permanent resident, right?
Sadly not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
No, not yet. Okay.
Given if you were Canadian, or given that you were given that status, would you have cheered for the Jays or the Mariners? Just be careful of your answer, because we have Tyler right here. Actually, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Would you cheer for a team that's geographically closer, or a team that represents, or they say represent the country?
You see, there's two sides to this. The thing is, I can understand that, yes, this is Canada's only baseball team. No other city has a team, and quite frankly, they have only themselves to blame for not being able to get a baseball team going. But maybe
losing the Expos.
Yeah, the Montreal Expos. I remember that, but unfortunately they had unfortunately it didn't work out so well for them in the end, as it turned out, and they went to Washington. But like, the problem is, they're in a rival city, and given how people make fun of Torontonians and the Maple Leafs, you could argue that maybe they're the same kind of fans that have that same kind of mindset when supporting the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, I kid you not, I'm still seeing comments on threads even after they came so close to winning a World Series, and people are still calling for John Schneider's head. That is shockingly pathetic. When fair enough, you could make the argument that if he wasn't getting them far enough in the postseason, I could understand that. But to say that even after they made such massive progress this season. I feel like it takes a lot to impress Torontonians, in my honest opinion. And I think that's a bit classless of them to say that. And when you consider that, his conferences, he does show a lot of class, it has to be said. That to me kind of just reeks of a slightly toxic nature in Toronto itself. I feel like in Seattle, for instance, with the Mariners, they've had decades of disappointment themselves, but I don't think they're as ruthless as the Toronto fan base. So I'm not really keen on supporting a team that have fans like that, in my honest opinion. I get that, obviously for the Blue Jays fans who live out in across the country, even here in Vancouver, at least I can, tolerate those over here that at least I'd say wouldn't be as bad, that wouldn't be as classless as Torontonians themselves, in my opinion. But I think to answer your question, I just think that, it's always good to try and follow a team that's a little bit closer to where you are, I think. And I kind of have a soft spot for Seattle, I feel. I didn't lose any sleep, obviously, Toronto winning against them in the, I think it was in the first round. No, it wasn't the championship series. It was the series before that. It was the championship series, wasn't it? Yeah. I didn't really lose sleep over that. But
it's the American League Championship.
Yeah. Oh, American League Championship, yeah. Like, I didn't really lose sleep over that, but, I suppose part of me was kind of admittedly thinking, oh, well, Seattle winning would kind of add more to the hilarity of the entertainment that Torontonians would have to face up to for their sports teams not making it far. Of course, obviously now, considering that they've lost yet another Game 7 in a sporting event, that'll do just fine.
It's okay. The Leafs fans can tell the Jays fans how to react. I mean, it's the first time. So it's Jay's first time only. Hopefully only the only time. Leafs have a much more experience about losing Game 7. So,
Yeah. But that was a great take. I absolutely love that, Connor. Before Gerald said that, I actually liked Seattle as well. I like the Mariners too. So I like both teams.
I love that jersey that you put together though. Like the Marjays? The Marjays?
Yeah, I literally took two jerseys and had one on one side, one on the other, and I just buttoned them up together, and it was two jerseys split. And Quads from Canucks Conversation absolutely loved that picture too, because he's a big Seattle Mariners fan. But yeah, I loved your take. I totally get what you're saying about Torontonians and their reaction. And yeah, I've even seen those threads about people calling for Schneider's head. He's up for AL Manager of the Year. Like, he's one of the finalists. And I think he's going to take it.
And Seattle's the other one, though.
Yeah, Seattle's the other one. And then I believe Cleveland is the third one. But yeah, you're right. I was seeing, like, on X in my 2 days of solitude after the World Series, I was going through X and seeing all the reactions and whatnot. People, Torontonians blaming players, blaming management, blaming ownership. It's like, guys, it's not their fault. They took us to a Game 7. It's not on.
There's one exception though that I have to disagree. Like, bro, like, come on, man. It was Game 3? Was it Game 3? The Ohtani home run.
Oh,
what was the 18th inning one?
Yeah, that was the
Game 5.
Yeah,
no, game 5. It was Game 5. No. It was Game 4 because Game 5 they came out and just blitzed it. They took 2 out of the 3, so it's Game 4. Bro, you were up. Oh my God, you were up at the bottom of the bottom of the 7th, and you didn't walk Ohtani? Are you kidding me? And then what is it, like by like the 10th, 11th inning, then you start like walking him? Why didn't you do it earlier? If you did, like, that would have been a game that's won. That just gives me the conspiracy that, they had to have a Game 7. They had to have the hundreds of millions of dollars that they get from Game 7. But the outcome of it, like, it seems scripted also. Like, that double play, really, man? Like,
that was Game 3. That was Game 3, the extra inning game.
The other thing too, it is Shohei Ohtani. He's not an MVP for no reason. Maybe they didn't want to risk him hitting another home run like he did the first time he batted, and like he said, he hit it straight out of the park on his first attempt. Like, that was insane. Justifying why he's a 700 million plus player, and I'm like, oh my god, do they want to risk it again? I mean, it was kind of like a it was a sort of like a minimalized risk. Walking him, I think, effectively. But I do get your point, Gerald, that it's like, again, it turned out to be kind of like the wrong decision to make in the end. But maybe
If he didn't get that home run, the game wouldn't be tied. They wouldn't be going to extra innings. Same thing with Game 7. Like, it just felt like both those games going to extra innings. Both those games were somehow, like, I don't want to say it, but you know where I'm getting at.
Yeah. If things go better in Game 3, they end it in Game 5.
Yeah, it would have been done. It would have been done
in Game 5. But then it would have been ended in LA though. So, but going back to, because Rain had a hot take from from his previous Olympic question, and I thought this was pretty good. In my opinion, the reason Besser is now on the PK is because this is the only way of getting attention from U.S. management.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, sorry that took a little while there, Rain.
I mean, certainly having Garland and Luger back for the penalty kill, I think, will be huge for Vancouver. When they return, hopefully in the next homestead, I think.
According to Russell, I think he's always level-headed.
Are you? No, I don't think so, Russell. You're one of the more level-headed, but 100% of the time, I don't think so. I mean, how many times do I have to hear? How many times do we have to hear you give off that hilarious reaction when somebody goes laugh out loud? Oh my god! He suddenly thinks he's Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs or Ace Ventura. At least that's what I always tell him. You're Ace Ventura going.
He's like Ace.
Yeah. That's one reason why I think Russell and I would get along so great. That's one reason why I think him and I would get along great, because I love those movies, the Ace Ventura movies. I think they're amazing. And I'm a big Jim Carrey guy, so hopefully Russell is too. I mean, I imagine he is. He also says, hang on, is it going to show up? Sorry, this laptop is fidgety. That's the Evangelista cell job. I guess referring to Evangelista.
Basically deciding to giving up hockey and turn to soccer instead. Maybe, I don't know, maybe playing in the MLS probably might suit him down to the ground, maybe.
Hey, Tyler, you should highlight that Boston 2.0 one too. Just to give them a shout out. They're from Australia.
Oh, I didn't even see this one. Well, from Sydney, Australia. Holy crap. What time is it there right now? They're like, what, a day
16.
ahead?
They're like, I think they're like 5, they'd be like 5 hours behind. They'd be like, 5 or 6 hours behind us minimum. So I'd say it's probably like.
No, they're ahead of us. They're a whole day ahead of us.
Yeah, sorry, ahead of us. So I think my guess is they're like probably 5 or 6 p.m. Monday where they are right now.
Or would that be Tuesday? Since it's technically
Tuesday. Next day,
Yeah, beautiful place. I mean, it's been a long time since I went to Australia. I think I went when I was a kid, like really young.
It's 6:34 right now. 6:30 p.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says support Seattle Kraken, but the Canadian teams are very good. Awesome. Wow. Seattle Kraken fan all the way in Australia.
They also won
every
tonight.
day. Yeah. Well, I think that was one of the teams that they were talking about that people are kind of sleeping on so far this season. Because, the Kraken weren't they like first in the division for like the first few games?
Yeah, they were for a few games, but then and
they sustained.
had won a few games, and they took over the lead in the division. But Vegas have been kind of on a rut lately, so I think as of now, Seattle are back in number one right now, ahead of Anaheim
Damn.
and Vegas and Edmonton.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like the table's almost like done a full 180 from like last season, and you have a team like Calgary of all teams who are at the bottom
Yeah.
of the league, not just the Pacific Division. I mean, that's insane.
They're tanking for
after the
McKenna,
win,
man.
after the win today, we're not so bad. We're actually in the second wild card
Yeah,
with 14
we are.
points. Flames only have 8 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
in how many games?
14 games,
14. Jeez.
3
Yeah.
wins and two ties.
Yeah, they're definitely tanking for McKenna for sure.
I watched one of their games against. I watched their game against St. Louis, if I recall. Like I'd never seen such a piss poor attacking play performance like I'd seen from Calgary in quite some time. Like certainly when they had, well, certainly 3 or 4 seasons ago when they had the likes of Kachuk and Johnny Gaudreau, and who else did they have? And years before that when they had Sam Bennett, like they were lethal in possession. But this season they're just so blunt, and I think they've only got and right now I think that all they've got right now is Dustin Wolf. That's kind of all they're talking about. That's kind of it really.
Yeah.
Kadri and so that's why they're thinking of trading Kadri, right? If they do tank, they don't need Kadri, and then they have who's that other Florida player that no one gives a shit about? Number 10,
Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yeah.
Huberdeau, yeah.
And like by his standards, with what he's making, he just continues to disappoint again, like he always does.
It's just like Petey.
Yeah.
I bet he wishes. I bet he hates the fact that this is the team he ended up with when he could have been the one to stay with Florida, and could very well have won the cup with them. But then at the same time, maybe they might not have won it if they didn't get Kachuk.
True.
Oh, they needed Kachuk. They needed Kachuk.
Yeah, they did. Big time. Worked out nicely for them.
Well, Calgary screwed it up because they had Gaudreau, they had Kachuk, they had Markey at the time, I think, still. Like they had a decent team. Anderson was already up and coming at that time. Like they had a pretty good team. They just screwed it up.
They did.
Yeah,
they
had DeFoley at one point too.
Yeah. It's kind of like how the Canucks blew up after 2024. Even though they did so well. And it was all because of Petey.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
and now we don't have Miller.
Yeah.
So yeah. Imagine in a world that Petey came in to training camp ready, wasn't injured. JT Miller would still be around. We probably would have gone to the playoffs and maybe even taken on Edmonton at some point. If Demko, was still like, I mean, he played relatively well. Like, I mean, I think he got injured near the end of the season, but they probably wouldn't have overused him and got him injured again. But it would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. I even said that on Uncensored. Petey comes into camp in shape.
Different story.
There's no rift. There's no rift. Even though I know they had bad blood prior to that. But that's one thing I keep saying is in 2023, we didn't hear anything about bad blood between the two at all because they were winning. They were cohesive. And then he comes into camp not in shape, and then shit hits the fan.
It's unfortunate. Like, it's just one thing that screws up the entire timeline of the Canucks. We could have probably, like, after that point, like, think about it. We got Jake DeBrusk because of that good season. Jake was like, I'm going to come play. Like, I want to come play with Petey because that team was so hot, right, at the time. And imagine DeBrusk playing well. Everything works the way it goes. Easily could have been a good playoff team. And who knows once you get into the playoffs, right? and the whole trajectory, we wouldn't be talking about all of this. Like, oh, is Huggy gonna leave? What are we gonna do? Do we need to rebuild? Like, if things worked out, it could have worked out very well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just sucks that we're going through this right now.
Yeah.
And even like, entertaining the thought of trading Huggy at some point. Yeah.
Who's this notorious Fam2922? Kraken in first place.
Looks like another Kraken fan, but yeah, Kraken in first place. Never thought I'd say that.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there, but I don't know whether you guys got it, whether I got out because I was getting interruptions there. I couldn't. I kind of lost you for a brief moment, guys. Sorry.
Okay, man.
All good.
Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Let's see if this works. Yeah, Kraken in first place.
I think maybe my connection has probably had enough. I think maybe my connection has probably had enough for tonight because I see here that is over 2 hours. We've been doing this, guys.
Yeah, I think that we should. It was a good chat. Thank you for coming on, Connor. It's so awesome. Like, it's really nice talking hockey with you. Just your insights and
yeah,
your
likewise.
takes on
That
things.
was the most amount of time I've actually spent on any live stream, giving my fairly limited knowledge of the game.
You're cutting off, but thank you so much for coming because I appreciate it. I'm sure
Probably
Tyler
just,
appreciates it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you once again.
No worries. Look, I'm sure probably some other stream if you guys are around. I'm sure I'll be happy to hop on again and chat with you more about the game itself. But in the meantime, it was great chatting here with you guys, and you have a good night, all right?
Yeah, have a good night, man. Thanks again for coming on. You're more
Have a
than
good one,
welcome
Connor.
to come
Thank
on
you.
anytime, man.
No worries. Talk to you soon, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah.
So that was 2 hours again.
Yeah. Wow.
Makes it for all the ones that you canceled earlier. So,
Well, I technically only canceled on Saturday, but you can imagine the headspace I was in after Saturday.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what was going on because you didn't respond to messages, but I'm glad you're
Yeah,
back. Welcome back.
I just needed those 2 days. Like I said, Sunday I closed myself off. I was in solitude. I literally laid in bed and watched movies, or binge watched actually Agents of Shield all day.
Wow.
So
okay.
and I wouldn't even really talk to Sam. I was
wow.
that big of a rat. So
okay.
But I've been a bit better today, obviously talking to a few people at work. A few people at work were kind of giving it to me a little bit, in fun. So it was okay. But I will say watching all that parade stuff, started pissing me off a little bit. So
why did you watch it then?
Well, I was scrolling through Twitter and it kept on popping up. And I was just like, I don't want to see this. But I think the main thing for me, sorry to talk baseball again. I don't know, there's a clip. I might send it to you just so you can see it.
Okay.
But it was Blake Snell. And it looked like he was making a joke about that lodged ball from Game 6. Like he was with the outfielder who put his hands up, and they were making a joke about it. Like going like, "Oh, where's the ball? Put your hands up." And I'm kind of like, I had no audio for it, but I could see the subtitles, and I'm just kind of, standing there going, "Snell, you shouldn't be talking, man. You played like shit in that series."
No, you should see the AI that they did with that one. It was hilarious. It was like taking like a gun, shooting at it, and the ball wouldn't come out, and getting like a jackhammer and getting all that other stuff. Like it was crazy. It was just ridiculous. But yeah.
Yeah. We got Jordan just popped in. Again.
What's up, Jordy?
Again, this stupid laptop. Yeah. Sorry about the Jays, man. Glad you're back up. Yeah. Appreciate it. I did make a mention of that in your guys' stream, good on the Dodgers, congratulations, but I mean I did also say you guys only won because of Yamamoto. So, but I do want to highlight Connor on here saying, again, a stupid touch pad. Great chat with you guys. Be happy to hop on again in some future streams. Still think Toronto teams winning would be unbearable for all other Canadians. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, I just the whole thing with Snell, I just thought it's like, dude, you're talking shit and you didn't even play that well. Like, shut your yap. And actually, that notorious fam seems to agree with me on that, saying Snell talks like he has severe CTE. I mean, but yeah, that's the only thing that really pissed me off about it is him of all people, talking crap when he did not play well at all during the series. Like, he got like, as much as he wants to deny it, he got like walloped by the Jays in the 2 games he started. But it was just him going like, oh, where's the ball? It's like, and I was even looking at the comments from people, and these were even Dodgers fans were like ripping him too. And basically saying like, oh, where's the ball? Oh, it's in the freaking bleachers because you gave up so many goddamn home runs, dude. Like, that's where the ball is. But I kind of like chuckled at it afterwards. Was like, what a goof. But that was the only thing that really bugged me. But like I said, hats off to the Dodgers. They have Yamamoto. Yamamoto was a freaking beast. Like
he won the MVP like outright.
Oh yeah, I said
2 complete games and then just to fill in for Game 7, bro. Like that guy's.
If they gave it to anyone else, I would have been like, "What are you doing?" Like, Yamamoto deserved that MVP award. I mean, he has a complete game in Game 2. Pitched great in Game 6. And then comes in Game 7 on no days rest. Pitches 2 1/3 clean innings, like scoreless innings. Like, how do you do that? I did laugh. I didn't actually watch the post game like celebration thing for obvious reasons. But I did hear he said something to the Dodgers manager saying, "I know pitch tomorrow." I thought that was hilarious that he said that. Jordan saying, "How did you feel about Evander Kane tonight?" Well, I'm glad he finally scored and it didn't get waved off. So clearly, that goal that got waved off clearly lit a fire underneath his ass. And he was determined to get his first goal. Well, first 2 goals for the Canucks. But other than that, I thought he was okay. He was doing okay until he took that dumb penalty. Not that made the Canucks lose, but it's like, stop taking dumb penalties, dude. Like, you're playing an actual decent game, and then you go and do that. Like, come on. And I guess I'm kind of, like I said, I'm off him a little bit after that Minnesota game and his whole, like, where he, like, spazzed out and got that game misconduct, spazzed out from what the looks of it on Adam Foote. So, but yeah, I thought he was okay. I still think they're going to trade him by the end of the year. So, but yeah.
That should be about it, eh? 2-19 now, man.
Yeah. I think we missed Clay's open house, but it's okay.
No, it's he's still going on his stream right now. So,
okay.
I just turned it on. But yeah, maybe I'll see you on that side.
Yeah, I might try and
I'll let you
hop on
close
there
off.
and see if I can. Yeah, thanks for joining again, Gerald.
Yeah,
I know this
no worries.
this was long, but I guess this makes up for Saturday.
For sure.
Obviously, Canucks play Chicago on Wednesday. So I'll be doing a post game for that, and then obviously Saturday, I won't be because I'll be at the game. But
I don't know if I can do post game on Wednesday because I think I most likely will be at the game.
Okay. Oh, good.
But I'll let you know, and then we'll connect.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it solo.
But yeah.
But Saturday, definitely no for me. I will be on Russell's on Saturday. I'm gonna do my own insider at live from Rogers Arena on Saturday.
Sweet, can't wait.
I reached out to him about it, so I'll be doing that, and then we will go from there. So I mean, like I said, no more baseball. The Blue Jays stuff is being locked away, minus the hats, because I like wearing the hats. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Gerald. I appreciate it.
No
I know
worries.
that was
Thanks
the
for
last
having me.
minute. And yeah, I'm doing a lot better. So I appreciate you, Irvin, Justin, all checking in on me. Because yeah, that was pretty brutal to go through.
Glad you're back.
Being a Jays fan since longer than I've been a Canucks fan, I guess, in a way. Since '92, when I was 2 years old. I was
Don't
literally
worry,
born.
they'll come back. They'll come back again. So.
Oh yeah, I've already seen like some things that people saying. Actually, I would highly recommend going to check out Canucks Convo from today. They talk a little bit, obviously, about the game at the start, and actually, their producer Jacob has a really good take on next season, and I have to agree with him on it. So definitely go check that out. It's really interesting. Especially those that are Jays fans as well. And if you're watching, definitely check out Canucks Conversation. Their first segment, they talk about Game 7. And then Jacob, their producer, who's a diehard Blue Jays fan too, he has a really good approach for next season. So it's definitely got me very optimistic about next year for sure. But yeah, and then that's all.
Awesome. I'm gonna jump off, but thank you for having me. I'll let you close up, and we'll connect soon. We'll see about Wednesday. But I'll let you know. If not, then sometime next week.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds great, man. Once again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
No worries.
And yeah, that's Gerald, everybody. Always got great takes, great stuff. Even baseball takes. I love it.
For a hockey fan.
Yeah, for a hockey fan. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Gerald. Appreciate it. And
No worries.
for those of you that want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. And hang on. Oops. Hang on. Sorry. Laptop.
You don't have it on your laptop.
Yeah, there we go. Those of you that would like to like and subscribe, feel free to hit that like button and smash if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us on social media. We're everywhere on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. The names are right there. And then also, if you prefer to listen on a audio version of this podcast, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review. It obviously really helps out the podcast and really helps out the YouTube channel as well. So go ahead, check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and before I go, just for Urban, yes, Savage.